Hey, good morning, everyone, and happy Friday to you. Hope this message finds you well. And if you're with us for the first time, we are going together through the chronological study Bible, and the goal is to go from Genesis, which we started in Genesis, to Revelation, and doing that chronologically. We are moving through a particular Bible, and if you want to continue along, I will gladly send you the Bible that we're using. And all you have to do is email me at becauseloveneverfails@gmail.com. So that's because, BECAUSE, love never fails at gmail.com. Give me your physical address and I'll send that to you. It's been working out well. I'm able to send them through Amazon, and without any hangups, folks seem to be receiving it 3 to 4 days. So I encourage you to take me up on that. It's a cool Bible, and this is the first time I've gone through the Bible chronologically, and I'm getting a kick out of it. So when we left off together last time, we were with David and Abner, and we were seeing the Judah and Israel coming together, and we explored Abner a bit and how he was really operating out of his own ambition, and then taking a look at even ourselves. How do we do that? What do we do in our lives? Striving for to make things go a certain way, or even being around others who are doing that. We're all in different dynamics. We have family dynamics, work dynamics. Maybe you're in a church. There are church dynamics. You're on a sports team. There's sports dynamics. There's all these dynamics, all these interactions with people, and people with agendas, and really at the end of the day, we can only check our own agendas and what we're up to, and we can take that before the Lord, right? Always seeking a pure motive, and seeking God's motive, God's will. What's He up to in our life and in situations around us? And we can see that play out, as we draw close to the Lord. And ending last time together, we saw Abner had come to David. David had feasted with Abner, and now the Judah and Israel, looks like they're going to be brought together. So David still step by step, being patient. He's entertaining Abner. He's feasting with Abner. He's letting this play out, which is a testament in and of itself. And instead of just, hey, it's my kingdom, I'm going to get it, I'm going to put it together, thank you very much. And when we left off together, David had sent Abner away, and when we come into verse 22 together, Joab is now going to be on the stage and coming back from it says a raid, which we'll see. He had just come back from this raid and had found out that Abner had been there, and with David. And if you recall from chapter 2, Abner had killed Asahel, which was Joab's brother. And in the killing of Asahel, Abner did not want to do it, but yet Asahel was in pursuit after this battle. Asahel, Joab's brother, was in pursuit of Abner. Abner had requested, "Hey, man, leave me alone. Please take on someone else." And he said back in chapter 2, this is Abner speaking in verse 22, "So Abner said again to Asahel, 'Turn aside from following me. Why should I strike you to the ground? How then could I face your brother Joab?'" So he recognized, Abner did not want blood on his hands. How could he face Joab? He knew that this would create a revengeful scenario, and indeed it does, and we're going to see that together here today. It says, verse 22, "At that moment the servants of David and Joab came from a raid and brought much spoil with them. But Abner was not with David in Hebron, for David had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. When Joab and all the troops that were with him had come, they told Joab, saying, 'Abner, the son of Ner, came to the king, and he sent him away, and he has gone in peace.' Then Joab came to the king and said, 'What have you done? Look, Abner came to you. Why is it that you sent him away, and he is already gone?' Surely you realize that Abner, the son of Ner, came to deceive you, to know you're going out and you're coming in, and to know all that you are doing. Joab's frustrated here, and even paranoid of Abner's motives. And kind of in the background, I can almost hear Joab thinking, David, how can you be so foolish? What are you thinking? Abner has nothing but evil intentions. He's come to you to basically spy you out, spy us out, and and that's it. To know you're going out and you're coming in. This was basically a reconnaissance mission, and you fell for it. And not only that, you feasted the guy and you sent him away in peace. What's up with that? So David's being called into question here. But check this out. We don't see any response from David. So David's just listening, right? And it says, and when Joab had gone from David's presence, he sent messengers after Abner. So Joab is sending out his messengers for Abner. And these messengers, it says, brought him back from the well of Sirah. But David did not know it. Now, when Abner had returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside in the gate to speak with him privately, and there stabbed him in the stomach, so that he died for the blood of Asahel, his brother. Afterward, when David heard it, he said, my kingdom and I are guiltless before the Lord forever of the blood of Abner, the son of Ner. Let it rest on the head of Joab and on all his father's house, and let there never fail to be in the house of Joab one who has a discharge or is a leper, who leans on a staff or falls by the sword or lacks bread. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, called Abner, because he had killed their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, killed Abner. I think I said killed Abner, because he had killed their brother Asahel at Gibeon in the battle. Revenge has been taken. We see David's response to this. Just this instant crying out. He's let things play out, but now all of a sudden this is too much. And he just basically says, hey, I have nothing to do with this. I am guiltless. I did not order this. I did not want this. I did not want Abner to die. Again, he had sent Abner away in peace. He had feasted with Abner. And he wanted nothing to do with what Joab had done. And then it asked that any consequences to this murder be totally on Joab's house, be completely on them, and even that there would be a curse upon the house for the action that was taken, for the action that was completely taken in his own hands, which Joab decided to do. And then we get to see David mourning here. And he mourns in verse 31. Then David said to Joab and to all the people who were with him, tear your clothes, gird yourselves with sackcloth, and mourn for Abner. And King David followed the coffin. So they buried Abner in Hebron. And the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. And the king sang a lament over Abner and said, should Abner die as a fool dies? Your hands were not bound, nor your feet put into fetters. As a man falls before wicked men, so you fell. This was a song. This is David singing a lament. And with all the Psalms and what we know of David just being this incredible musician and this singer, he's crying out. He's crying out at the grave of Abner among the people. And the people are getting to see this. And it's it's a snapshot. It's his heart's on a sleeve. I think of just what it would be like if in our own country, if we were, no kidding, really united as a country, and a leader of say Israel had fallen and falls, and to hear say in our case right now President Barack Obama, to hear Obama just crying out, singing, heartfelt, wearing his heart on his sleeve, instead of this political agenda stuff. This, hey, how does this fit into our grand scheme of things? There is no grand scheme of things here for David. He is following God. He's following the Lord. Is he going to make mistakes in the future? Absolutely. But he's a man after God's own heart. He's pursuing the Lord day by day. And he's singing here, should Abner die as a fool dies? Your hands were not bound, nor your feet put into fetters. As a man falls before wicked men, so you fell. Then all the people wept over him again, and when all the people came to persuade David to eat food, while it was still day, David took an oath, saying, God, do so to me and more also, if I taste bread or anything else till the sun goes down. Now all the people took note of it. They're noticing what David's doing. And it pleased them, it pleased the people, since whatever the king did pleased all the people. For all the people and all Israel understood that day that it had not been the king's intent to kill Abner, the son of Ner. Then the king said to his servants, do you not know that a prince and a great man has fallen this day in Israel? And am I weak today, though anointed king? And these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too harsh for me. The Lord shall repay the evildoer according to his wickedness. We're seeing David in this response. But if you just kind of backtrack, still in chapter 3, when Abner had come to David, bringing Michal, the first wife, and bringing a united the Israel that had been under Ishbosheth, he's bringing the crown to David. He's bringing his first wife to David. David's just, this is happening. It's unfolding amidst everybody else's agenda. It's unfolding according to God's plan. And David feasts him. He sends him away in peace. And then Joab comes back from a raid and gathering spoils, and hears of Abner being in Hebron, and even coming to David. And Joab comes, David, what are you thinking? What are you doing? Agendas. How could you do this? This was purely a reconnaissance mission. David still says nothing. Couple snapshots from Psalms. This comes from Psalm 140, verses 1 through 3. So this is David, and I just imagine him in the midst of this, and as it's playing out, he's seeing history, he's seeing things play out among men, yet in his heart he's crying out to God. And I can hear him saying things like this in Psalm 140. Deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. Preserve me from violent men who plan evil things in their hearts. They continually gather together for war. They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. The poison of asps is under their lips. And then another here, Psalm 12:8. Psalm 12:8, David again saying, the wicked wander everywhere, and what is worthless is exalted by the human race. The wicked wander everywhere, and what is worthless is exalted by the human race. What is your cry? What is that unsaid hope or longing or prayer in your heart? As you're pursuing God and drawing close to God, and as God is drawing close to you, and your flesh is dying off. That retirement plan doesn't have as much weight. Do you want to check out and not do anything after you retire? This American dream, I'm going to have it all planned out. I'm going to have it all planned out, and it's all going to go a certain way. And it's not going a certain way. And God's wanting to use you, and you're living into that, and you're praying about it, and your world's is shaken up. And maybe you're in an arena of leadership, or who knows, wherever you find yourself. And you're seeing the agendas and the strivings and all the things that are going around you. And you have to work in that. You have to live in that. You're participating in the world. We all are in the world. But not being of the world, as Jesus told us. Be in the world, but not of the world. And to be as gentle as doves and as cunning as a serpent. So we're having to participate and be involved in this. And then in silence, as we cry out to the Lord, Lord, what would you have me do? What would you have me do? Deliver me, O Lord, from evil men. Preserve me from violent men who plan evil things in their hearts. They continually gather together for war. They sharpen their tongues like a serpent. The poison of asps is under their lips. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend. I hope to be with you again on Monday. And it's always great to share and partake in God's Word. Be blessed.